Russell Wilson does another good job of looking off to his left just to hold Wilson, who's here, off of the numbers. They're playing at quarters. He's looking to help. This time he's getting more depth. He's better with his eyes, but he's simply not deep enough. This is how I see it. There was a play that stood out to me, specifically from the Giants and Cowboys matchup. It was a great lesson about what happens when you're in no man's land. No man's land in football terms is essentially when somebody aligns or stands in a place that automatically eliminates them from making the play. Is you taking yourself out of success simply by where you decided to stand. And we'll look at what are some of the contributing factors that put you out of position before the play even starts. We're gonna be focusing on 3 plays. All of them are from safety Donovan Wilson. Now, all of these are not his fault. And you can see that some of these are based on schematics, but we're just talking about 3 opportunities that he might have had to have an impact on these particular plays had he aligned differently. So coming out here, the Cowboys are in a quarters coverage. I mean, this corner here has that wide out. This corner is locked up with that wide out. You have 3 underneath defenders and then 2 deep quarter safeties. This safety will be occupied if this number 2 receiver goes vertical, but because this is a 3-by-1 formation, we're focusing right here on this safety. He is by formation free. The only thing that is going to affect him is if this number 3 tight end were to come up vertically and attack him across the field, he would pick that up. So as a free player, you know right now you should be playing between this number 1 receiver to your right and whatever threats come up to your left. Donovan Wilson right now is staring at the quarterback, who manipulates him to look front side and stop his feet, which eliminates him, takes him out of the play. He's in no man's land where he's not able to help anybody, especially this corner who's holding on to his life against this post route. Russell Wilson sees that. He also helps manipulate this safety by looking at him, staring at him, holding him in place. And you can see Russell Wilson right here use influence against Donovan Wilson just to get him to freeze his feet and keep him in that no man's land. He looks to his right early in the down, and as he looks to his right, you can see Donovan Wilson up here already eyeing up number 3. As soon as Donovan's eyes get there, Russell snaps back, and that is all the space he needed. With having him occupied here, he can now throw this big post. Touchdown. That's tough for a corner to play outside leverage against the deep ball in quarters. Is tough. But remember, influence. First way to get out of position is being influenced by things you don't need to be looking at. That leads us into my second point, your eyes. What you look at will put you in the wrong spot. On this next play, the coverage is different. We're going to look at Wilson right here in the post, particularly his eyes. Right as the ball snap, we see he takes his eyes to this number 3 threat. He's no longer looking at the quarterback. And really, when you're in the post, you want to be able to feel and peripheral the routes while you get your read off of the quarterback. But because he doesn't get much depth in his pedal and he's kind of flat-footing this, Russell Wilson knows he can just let it go. And this safety has no ability to make a play on this ball. Mainly because he aligned in no man's land where he wasn't deep enough, but also he was looking at the wrong things. You have to see the routes. When you're protecting the deep end of the field, your responsibility is to only be looking at what threats can affect you. And when you're looking at the wrong things, oftentimes you end up in no man's land and end up ineffective. Lastly, the Cowboys are back in quarters coverage again. This looks familiar. You got 2 safeties that are responsible for the deep middles of the field. Corners have the number 1 receivers on the outside. And we're going to look at Wilson again, who by formation is the free guy. If you look at this again, there's three wideouts over here that are going to occupy the Mike, the safety in the corner. This guy is free to help his corner and anything that's coming from the front side. The third thing that can put you out of position and get you in no man's land is overestimating your own ability. Sometimes you've got to have humility and put your ego to the side to be able to be real with yourself, to know if you have what it takes to stop what's in front of you. And if not, adjust yourself accordingly. This is a situation where it's late in the game. The Giants need to score a touchdown here. So it's obvious that they're going to be taking shots to the end zone. So if I'm the Cowboys, I'm naturally not being aggressive on anything in the middle of the field because we can tackle that. It won't hurt us. I'm defending the deep parts of the field. In order to defend the deep parts of the field, you must understand if you are faster than the receiver or not. And if not, you might want to back up a little bit. And if not, you'll find out why you put yourself in no man's land and make the down in your situation harder than it needs to be. So we look at Wilson. He starts there and it's great. The only problem is this receiver up top is rolling. Russell Wilson does another good job of looking off to his left just to hold Wilson, who's here off of the numbers. They're playing at quarters. He's looking to help. This time he's getting more depth. He's better with his eyes, but he's simply not deep enough. When he turns to run, he does not have enough space or speed to stay on top of this route and provide any type of help. At this point, he's in no man's land. This is by definition no man's land. When you're in the vicinity, you have walked yourself out of the play and made yourself ineffective. If I'm him, I'm only worried about my threats. I might help this corner on any intermediate in breaking routes like a dig or an extra deep curl. Or I'm looking at number 3 who might be on the over. Right now, I know number 3 is not a threat to me. Everybody on this side of the field is still on the hash. So he's in the right position. He's got his focus to his left. He's got his eyes on the quarterback. But at this point, there are no more in-breaking routes. That receiver up top hasn't stemmed inside. There are no in-breaking routes from that stem. There's nothing left to do but turn and run. And he stayed in his pedal for another 5 yards. And by the time he opens his hips and run, it's too late. He probably felt like he was in good position, but that's when you have to really be in tune with who you are. If you've got hips like that enough to turn and stay with somebody who's been running now for 30, 40 yards, that's tough business. Especially when the team's best player is right in front of you. This whole play, not that it's his fault, but he could have been a factor in it had he understood his capabilities, understood his own limitations, backed up a few yards and played the situation for what it was. Sometimes we'll take ourselves out of plays by not understanding what no man's land is. When you're influenced by the wrong things, you're looking at the wrong things, and you don't understand your own limitations and capabilities, you'll end up in no man's land and out of the play. So what that means for you in business and in life is, 1, make sure you're focused on your job and your job only. Don't get influenced by what other people are doing, by how other people look. Focus on what's going to make you win. Secondly, make sure your eyes are right. It means you want to put your eyes always on the best information possible. This world is flooding us and flooding our eyes and attention with things that most of which are distractions. Put your eyes on what's going to get you to your goal, and that's it. You'll find yourself always in the right position. And then lastly, you got to have an understanding of yourself, your own limitations and capabilities. Be real with yourself. It's okay if you're not the best or most skilled person in the field. Align yourself accordingly so that you can be effective with the skill sets that you have. That's how I see it.